Hello Factorio people, welcome back to the broadcast from Space Age. Semi-streamlined playthrough, let's play. Walkthrough. Hope you're doing alright. Episode 25 already. If you can believe it. We're still on Gleba, we're trying to get Gleba up to some sort of vague megabase status, and the Gleba headaches continue, because Gleba is Gleba. Eggs is eggs, Gleba is Gleba. If you want to do the old like, comment, subscribe for me, we'll jump straight into it, shall we? Last time we tried to scale up production on Gleba. Apropos recycling bioflux. It doesn't work. It's far, far, far too slow. And by recycling old bioflux, you get back bioflux that does not have a good spoil time either. Like, at least legendary bioflux spoils in 5 hours. By recycling regular bioflux, you lose that benefit. So it's not very good. It's not very good. So we need to think of something else. And another common method is to upcycle capture bot rockets. This has its own set of headaches because you need steel plates, processing units, flying robot frames. These things aren't cheap, they're not easy to make either. I'm gonna sneeze. Thank you. But they do give you a lot of bioflux on recycle, and they also have the benefit in that you can just keep legendary capture bot rockets in a box somewhere. They don't spoil, unlike the what spoils? Captive biter spawners. These spoil, whereas the capture bot rockets, they don't spoil. They don't have anything in that would spoil, apparently. So you can kind of just keep the capture bot rockets on ice, so to speak. And then, so we're going to work towards that. But then I turned the game on. This is exactly the same thing that happened the last time I did the Gleba stuff, right? Is you do some Gleba stuff, you save the game, you go to sleep, you wake up, you immediately go and turn your computer on to play Factorio, if you're me, anyway. And you look at it in the cold light of day and you're like, this is rubbish. What on earth is this? What is happening here? What was I thinking? And also we're going to need more bioflux than this. Like, this is not a lot of bioflux all in all, let's be honest. It looks like a lot because it's backing up on the belt because we're not using it, but it is only 40 bioflux per second. We can do better than that. We can do better than that, probably. So let's try again, shall we? Okay, more of everything. More of everything in a better way. Hopefully. 2 stacked belts each of the fruits. Is that right? 6.4 belts. Yeah, almost. Here comes the jelly nut. We just need a little bit of nutrients to start seeding this. Here come the jelly nuts. And then a bit more space for everything, you know, like it was all crammed in. The old base is still ticking over, but, you know, it's fine. So we are still repurposing the blueprints from the last episode. Like, there's nothing wrong with the blueprints themselves, you know? Like, they are very functional. They're nice, compact. They work exactly how I want them to work. And we're also going to double up this spoilage hoarding / upcycling system on each side so that I don't have to faff around with one long belt that sends the spoilage one way, the seeds the other way. So that from this point on, the Yamako seeds go back into the system, and then from this point on, the spoilage. I mean, I need to hook this up to power, obviously. so then we can have, so like one of these modules only doesn't even make a green belt, let alone a stacked green belt. But it will use hardly any of the, you know, like 10% of the jelly and slightly more percent, 15% of the Yamako mash. So we can, like, very easily get loads of bioflux here with this. So I elected for 3 because this will give me almost a stacked belt of. Well, it'll give me half a stacked belt of bioflux, which is still a lot of bioflux, of course. Because we would need, we want to make lots of science with it, and yeah, we're going to also build a sort of mini base here to try this capture bot rocket, see how laborious that system will be. I'm not holding my breath on it, to be honest with you. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So this is already looking a little bit better. So let's tidy it all up and actually plug some stuff in. Disaster in the egg gambling factory. As all of the work I was doing on Glebers stopped the bioflux from arriving. And as such, all of the captive biter spawners have become real biospawners. Thankfully the defences we put in originally are doing an okay job, and like we don't lose anything for it. As soon as we get bioflux back, we can turn these back into regular bases with the help of some capture bot rockets on Nauvis. I mean, this is exceedingly cruel, but it is what it is. And so, here we go. It's taken me a long time, but I finally found an excuse. Where's my milestones thing? Not a legendary Spidertron. There we go. Spidertron, 144 hours. There he is. Of course, we need bioflux to get capture bot rockets, but the benefit of this is that the Spidertron just sort of auto-targets these. So we can sort of remotely fix this issue, thankfully, once we get the bioflux coming back in. And that's because I keep removing this system. The radar that receives the signal for when there's a spaceship in orbit that needs bioflux. I keep like moving it or forgetting to put it back down, or taking it from the old base to the new base or whatever. So that was funny. That was funny. Okay, so this is the old version of the save file before the bioflux is properly in, but yeah, I was doing some work and then suddenly I started getting loads of alerts on Nauvis, and I was like, what on earth is happening here? But yeah, you can ask the Spidertron for capture bot rockets and it will automatically load them into the rocket launcher things, and then it will automatically fire them as well towards any uncaptured biter nests. I don't know if it's doing this because these are existing captive biter spawners that have gone feral, or whether if you have a Spidertron with capture bot rockets and send it anywhere, it would shoot at them. I have the feeling it would just shoot whatever it has in its ammo slots, because you don't ever tell it to shoot or to not shoot, it just shoots. Which is why you should also not load these with atomic bombs. Yeah. How are the spaceships doing? The spaceships are doing okay. You may remember the last episode I forgot I changed the Gleber requests to not do rocket fuel, and then I said I'll have to make sure that I fix that and make sure that Vulcanus also is requesting the rocket fuel on a separate list, and then I never fix it. So at some point in the near future everything breaks because nothing is coming off of Vulcanus, but I think we only notice that when we start building a new ship, because we're going to build a new ship today as well. The big wide asteroid farming ship is going okay. Yeah, it's going very well. I end up having to put in fail-safes for running out of ammo. Because I had a situation... I've had it before on the stream, but I have it again, whereby the ship is hovering around Nauvis or Vulcanus for so long because the condition of like it's just full of iron ore or copper. Well, this one, for example, this one is a very good example. This one's doing it now. This has been hovering around Vulcanus for so long because Vulcanus is not requesting ice or calcite at the moment that we are also not making any more ammo. We are spending more ammo than we're using, and as such, eventually we have no ammo, but we're hovering around Vulcanus, and we can't just send it off because we couldn't even defend against 1 or 2 asteroids, let alone the whole journey. So I end up putting some fail-safes in for just inactivity, or sometimes not inactivity. Sometimes I just directly read the amount of ammo on the belt, and if it starts getting low, I send it off on a trip. So yeah, here for example, like this corner of the ship is a bit weak because these have run out of ammo. Once we start moving, it's very simple. You know, like it's very oh god. Yeah. Once we get moving, it's fine. The ammo is very easy and cheap to make. It just needs to permeate around the thing. But if the turrets run out of ammo, then yeah. And I don't know whether I should have put lasers on this to begin with. But it is what it is at this point. We just have to make sure that that gets fixed. Okay, enough of everything going wrong. Let's continue to progress. Alright, this already looks a lot better and a lot neater. I still haven't realised that I need 3 modules of this, so I'm on only 2, and I put the rocket fuel one back in. But that's a lot of fruit, man. That is a lot of fruit. Some belt balancers just to get everything sorted. Yes, this is just going to always have some spoilage on, but that's fine. That's just never going to get used anyway. Belt balancers, I don't tend to use them very often, and I certainly don't tend to use like proper lane balancer ones very often because it's not hugely important, but in this situation it is hugely important because otherwise, you know, I've done little things here like this. If you do this, then that's fine, but then like you just have a whole bunch of spoilage on the belt, which is irritating, whereas if you side load it directly, then at least this part of the belt is always empty and you don't have unsightly spoilage there. I just move these heating towers around to the current edge of the bus just to keep everything moving. Because yeah, there's no Yamako mash being used past this splitter, but I don't want this to just be full of spoilage. I'd rather just keep everything moving down the line. Yeah, it's going okay. It's going okay. So we've got 2 spoilage upcyclers. This is really only for legendary efficiency modules, which I'm not really sure I'll use. I suppose we could make a whole bunch of legendary nutrients out of it, maybe. Legendary biosulfur is irrelevant. Legendary burnt spoilage is irrelevant, but it seemed prudent, seeing as we would have so much spoilage, to just upcycle some of it into legendary spoilage, just so that, you know, then you have it, right? Then you have it. Okay, so some extra rockets, just to move things along, you know. Okay, so we want to make capture bot rockets on Gleba. One of the reasons I refactored all of this is because I thought for a moment what I was going to be doing was I was also going to be using the Yamako and the jelly to make a new version of the base. So, you know, make iron bacteria, to make steel, make processing units from biosulfur, etc, etc. And then it occurred to me that we don't really need to do that. We've proven that resources from asteroids are extremely plentiful. Like, even in legendary quantities, right? If we just want normal quantities, normal qualities, the quantity of that we'll get would be vast. It'd be so easy to do. Thank you. Oh yeah, this is ticking back. This is ticking over quite nicely. This did stall once because I over-egged the amount of promethium I thought I could put on the belt. I set this to like 2,500 or something, and this filled up and this belt filled up, so nothing was going anywhere, which was not the best idea. So I have had to add an extra inserter here to just throw promethium asteroids over the edge in case this does fill up on the way back. But this is working well. This is working very well. It's a shame that all we really need it for is research productivity, but we're on research productivity 19, almost about to hit 20. So that's very good. Just sort of been on set it and forget it mode with that. Not really had to deal with that at all. So yeah, we're going to build a ship. I'm going to just copy the wide boy design here. And, because we know this works very well. And rather than do asteroid upcycling, I'm just going to process asteroids, really. And we will need iron, copper, calcite, because I'm going to do the foundry version of the iron and the copper. Sulfur, because we'll need sulfuric acid to make processing units, and that's it. Oh, and we'll do carbon anyway. We'll do carbon, seeing as we need the sulfur, we'll do carbon anyway, because obviously we want to be able to get carbon fibre on Gleba as well, because carbon fibre is made from carbon, unsurprisingly, and Yamako mash. So if we've got carbon coming down from space, rather than like having to burn carbon or something, burn spoilage to make carbon, we can just send the carbon down from space and then, you know. But if we have legendary carbon and legendary spoilage, then maybe we can make... Oh no, we don't. That doesn't make any sense either. No, we can get legendary carbon from the asteroid farming process, and then it's just legendary mash, which, you know, whatever. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, I suppose. So this is just a copy of the wide boy design. As such, I should probably remove these the itinerary. Get rid of all the asteroid recycling crushers, and we'll just put a whole bunch, probably 8 of each or something, and feed the items into the platform. There's a lot of dead space on the platform, but that's fine. We can use it for something else, maybe going forwards. We're on 8 rockets now on Malvise. I think I probably mentioned that before. The bottleneck on Malvise is, ironically, space platform foundations. So I do change this slightly. You can make copper cable in an EM plant, so I don't know why I'm not doing that. Because that's extra productivity as well. But definitely store more of these. Good lord, that's a lot of rockets. It's a thing of beauty. I'm freezing cold, by the way. Is anyone else freezing cold? Hands are going numb. Sorry, it's not the banter. If you want the banter, then come to the Richie Mahjong videos. This is the pure work version of me. So that's nice. Isn't that nice? 8 rockets. Crafting speed 4.15 seems to be way too fast. Can't possibly, you know, we're just sort of, these rockets are just sort of sat here doing nothing while... So it might be that we get rid of these. But they're on 180 productivity, which is crazy. So it's about like 15 of each item to launch a rocket. It's insane. It's insane. Egg farming's back up and running. I don't think anything has changed on Malvise. I think I've changed anything at all on Navis for the longest time. Really don't remember. Same with Aquilo. Like, Aquilo's just sort of how it is when we left it. Except I think I added another set of boxes here for just making loads of ice flow, ice platforms. Probably should fix that. Oh, maybe some rail. Yeah, it's mostly the same as it was. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so we'll wait for this ship to be built. This will deliver us everything we need to start our little bus. And I say little bus, I completely underestimate what we're going to need, because I've also neglected to think about plastic at this point in the save file. Past me has forgotten that plastic is a thing that is needed, so that's funny. But we'll get to work on it, and we'll see how it goes. While I was waiting for the ship to be built, I thought, sure, why not? Why not get rid of the old Gleba base now? I think we're past that. I think we're past the point now of that. And we'll use all of this extra bioflux and stuff to make lots more agricultural science here. And oh boy, it makes a lot of agricultural science. 33 a second, 2,000 a minute. Now, of course, these numbers are not... The spoilage affects the value of the science pack when it finally gets to its end goal, end destination, so when they're sat in here spoiling, you know, they're not actually worth 200 science packs, so, I mean, it's fine. Lots of eggs. The science is incredibly cheap, right? And this will... I mean, it's important to remember that when I start having my conversation in a minute about legendary agricultural science, because, yeah, I got some stuff to say about that. But it's important to remember that this is actually very cheap. Eggs are free. Once you've got one pentapod egg, you've got pentapod eggs. You just cycle them through. Nutrients is a bit of a bottleneck, just because of the amount of nutrients that need to go into making pentapod eggs and feeding the biolabs, but you know, I've got alternating here speed and efficiency beacons, which is still not getting these down to their limit. They're still on 170% nutrient consumption, but you know, I can't really squeeze any more in. These are I mean, I could finally make some legendary efficiency module Mark 2s, Mark 3s, I suppose, which would go from minus 100% energy use to minus 125% energy use, so it's something. It's certainly something. But this is very sustainable. Got loads of bioflux, and yeah, and it makes 2,000 science per minute, so... Okay. And yes, so then we can take the old version of the Gleba base down completely. And everything's ticking over nicely. Is the ship finished? The ship is finished, folks. The ship is finished. So this goes backwards and forwards between Gleba and Navis. And as you can see, it's very easy to get a lot of stuff. Especially if you don't care about the quality of it, which we don't. Calcite, sulfur, carbon, iron, copper. Just simply send the excess out into space to be chucked. And that's all good. And then we've got loads of space here on the thing if we want to do something else. I'm not quite sure what we would do over here, but we could do something, maybe, I suppose. It's nice. It's a nice ship. I'm kind of warming to these big cuboid ships, you know. It's nothing hugely fancy. Let's send it off to Navis. I mean, everything is full. We don't really need to send it off to Navis, but the only thing that what is this? Oh, just eggs. Just pentapod eggs hatching constantly. The only thing that does need a bit of a change on this first version of the design is that eventually when things are very busy and the carbon is full, the ice can't fill this belt. This needs a separate garbage chute out, really. And also this could do with being a bit more robust. I'm stupid? Oh yeah, that's right, that's what I do. Yeah, no, I send the ice one out on a separate chute and have that just... That's why. That's what I did. I was in my mind. I was like, yeah, I just set it up like this in the real save file version. But so we're throwing a lot overboard, but it's important to not be too concerned about wastage here. Like, it is free and infinite. So I suppose the only thing that's not really free is the power for all of this. But you know. Fusion power cells are extremely easy and cheap to make. Yeah, not worried about that. Not one holmium plate, one lithium plate, 5 lithium plates, I should say. Yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. Okay, so this works very well. I end up grinding a whole bunch of really expensive Gleben science things, because let's not also forget that the infinite research Gleben science ones get expensive very quickly in the same way that all the others do, but they're also not really that good. Plastic bar productivity, yeah, fine, okay, that's pretty good. Asteroid productivity, that's also very good, I suppose. But that very quickly gets out of control, right? Like, you hit sort of a point of that where it's not really any benefit in making it more productive, just because you can get so many more asteroids anyway. Refined flammables, whoop-de-free can do. Rocket fuel productivity, obviously very good, even though rocket fuel is kind of cheap anyway on all of the planets now, because you either make it through the generic light oil process, which is basically free on Fulgora, you make it on Gleba, which is basically free from the bio rocket fuel, the bioflux and the jelly, that's the word I wanted there, that's obviously free, and then ammonia, rocket fuel ammonia is also basically free. So this one is not as good as it initially seems. But okay, whatever. I'm not mad at Gleba, alright? I'm not mad. I'm not mad, it's fine. It's fine. Let's start thinking about getting a bus of stuff. Okay, so we hit the first problem here, which is 8 of these with quality modules in make a whopping 2 a second of this, which needs 40 bioflux a second, 4 processing units a second, you know. So I'm sort of reverse building the bus. This makes way more way more processing units than is necessary. There's a case to be made for making a lot more of these and not caring about the quality. I suppose, you know, do it like this instead. Because this will at least net you 5.6 a second, but you lose that quality step. And if your end goal is legendary, you know, so you make twice as much, but they all are going to start at the common quality. Whereas if you fill these with quality modules, then you're getting only 2 a second, but 25% of them are already going to be common or above. So then when you recycle those, you've already got a head start. So yeah, that's maybe someone would want to do those calculations, but I'm pretty sure this is better than making more faster. So we need processing units, we need robot frames. For robot frames we need electric engine units, and we need regular engine units. For electric engine units we need lubricant, which I've not thought about. So obviously I finally realised I needed 3 bioflux things to make the most of this. put a lubricant one in as well. I should add that to the blueprint book, actually. I'm just going to add it to last episode's blueprint book because, you know. Yeah. Oh no, wait, that's terrible, because this still has the old belts here from the output, which is not necessary. Okay, don't worry, I'll put that in the blueprint book later for you. So this makes more, yeah, this makes lubricant from jelly stems, which means we're taking the rocket fuel one out, which means we need to put the rocket fuel one back in, and I also am yet to realise that I need plastic from somewhere. And then we're just requesting the stuff that we're going to need inbound for the bus, just to sort of feel it out, you know, see what's necessary, see what we need, and in what kind of quantities we need it. So when you're doing this, start from the top, you know, how much of this do you realistically want, and then you can work backwards from there. I've put speed modules in them just for a little bit, just to get a backlog of them going fast, so that I can sort of stress test the recycling aspect of it as well. It's been quite fun doing a little bus like this for things, because sometimes I'm using legendary stuff, sometimes I'm not. I'm just sort of picking and choosing the quality that I want to use based on the requirements, right? So this is not a legendary chemical plant because it's vast overkill for what you need. But I was able to use legendary assembly machines to make the electric engine units that I need, and so on. Batteries. Oh my god, it's a freaking nightmare. Like, this is such a terrible idea. Like, it's really at this point I realise I've gone through all of this effort. I've basically rebuilt a Gleber base just to maybe get some legendary bioflux. And it's around this point, you know, and I've put plastic in and still haven't put a rocket fuel thing back, so eventually we're going to run out. Well, I say eventually, it's going to be a little while yet. We're going to run out of rocket fuel back here, so I need to sort that out. All the while, we've been sort of ticking over very nicely here. Every now and then an egg hatches and it scares me. Making 1,400 agricultural science for the last hour. You know? This is me tearing the old base down, and then this is me turning the new base on about 2.5 hours ago, 2 hours ago properly. Goes in peaks and troughs, because it's sort of, yeah, like every now and then the nutrients, it's sort of everything aligns, the stars align, and these all need nutrients all at once. And so then this dies from nutrients for a little bit, until the nutrients permeate through this system. Or it might be when the eggs fill up. When the eggs fill up, the nutrients go past, because these outputs are full now, right? So it doesn't need anything. So then the nutrients go past. But it's fine. Nothing ever breaks. It just sort of goes in fits and starts. But yeah, it's around here where I'm thinking, is this really worth all of this effort? Legendary agricultural science. Sure, the spoil time is 2.5 hours compared to 1 hour. And you do get a little bit of extra with the legendary, right? At least the legendary is 6 times rather than 5 times. But when you look at how much this is using, is this really... Oh, there's this as well, of course. 79 bioflux, well, basically 80 bioflux a second, which is slightly more than one of these modules. But we can fix that, you know, we can add an extra speed beacon in or something, somewhere. You know, maybe we'll make these... It's easily fixable, it's easily fixable. Would I rather not just have this 6 times? You know? Is it not just better to make 6 times the amount of agricultural science and not worry about legendary bioflux. Maybe legendary bioflux is a bit of a con. Maybe legendary agricultural science is a bit of a con. What I don't understand, right, and I think this would be a fair change, a fair balance issue for this, is why can't we have quality plants? Huh? Why does a quality seed not produce quality fruit? Maybe if we had to recycle seeds, upcycle seeds, you know, get seeds out of fruit. Maybe quality fruit doesn't give you quality seeds, but we still had to like sort out quality seeds in some way, but then those quality seeds gave us quality fruit. But the quality fruit didn't necessarily give us quality seeds. That seems like that would be totally fine, right? Why is there spoilage in here? And why is it not going into this? Quality fruit makes sense to me. I don't see why we can't have high quality fruit. You've seen those strawberries from Japan, right? You've seen those. They're like the platonic ideal of what strawberry is. It just looks amazing. And they must start from a decent seed, but then not every one of those seeds is giving them a decent piece of fruit at the end of it, but they just pick the decent piece of fruits that they want from the plants that have grown. And then they use... I'm trying to insert realism into Factorio, which of course makes no sense, because I'm currently carrying a gun turret and 143 wooden logs and 50 heat exchangers. Of course, like, it doesn't make any sense, but from a pure balance point of view, legendary agricultural science just seems extremely difficult to do. I watched the Neilhouse video of him doing legendary bioflux from this, and the absolute scale of the build that he had to do. And he was bringing in processing units and steel and robot frames from somewhere else, which then ran out, because he was also relying on logistics robots to bring stuff in. And that was giving him like 2.4 legendary bioflux a second. And it's just like, the juice ain't worth the squeeze, my dudes. You know? I hate to say it, I think the answer is probably just make 6 times the amount of common agricultural science. Because of course the other thing you could do is you could put quality modules into this, and every now and then you'll roll one which is slightly higher quality, but then you've got to do all this faffing around with your rocket request, right? Like, you can't just request 8,000 of any quality. You can't just say... You can't just say, give me 8,000 of agricultural science, I don't care what the quality is, just give me it, just give me it. Just keep sending up ships until you've got 8,000. You can't do that. So you might run into the situation where you've got 6,000 regular quality ones, and then the ship's waiting on 1,000 common ones. You know, if you do a 1-to-4 ratio, because the roll of the quality would be about 25%. If you say for every 1,000 common ones, wait on 250 uncommon ones, that's not foolproof either. So it's a headache. It really is a headache, and I feel like there's probably something they can do about it in terms of balance. Because I don't think this is gonna really work. But okay, I've had my little rant now. Let's start recycling these bad boys up, shall we? It's your bog standard recycler. Recycle them with quality modules. Rebuild them with quality modules. Recycle anything that's not legendary. Oh yay, 70 legendary bioflux and a whole bunch of legendary capture bot rockets, which we'll hold on to. This has been running for not very long, to be fair. Yeah, not even half an hour. And also these numbers are going to be hugely skewed because at the very beginning we were recycling them very, very quickly. I added another set. I realised I could add another set and not. It's running dry, but that's because, as I say, the Gleba farming ship is... I'm still tweaking the numbers. And the storage space as well. Like, really, these could be legendary cargo landing bay, cargo pods, and we could get a lot more in here. It is working. It is working. It is working. Trust me. Yeah. So the numbers were skewed because we were emptying these. These were all full. These 4 legendary storage chests were full, and now they're not full. So we're. Which is also why there's all of these chests here full of stuff, because I was stress testing it. Eventually we can just get rid of these. This is irrelevant. Once we're on the normal actual amount of recyclables making their way through the system. I'll put you in there. So in the far, far, far future, when everything finally levels out and works, this doesn't even get us that much legendary bioflux. So 99 legendary bioflux. 1 legendary bioflux can turn into, at the very most... Do I have a biolab on me? No. 1 legendary bioflux at the very most can turn into 2.5 agricultural science, because a biolab has 50% innate productivity. Higher quality biochambers do not improve that. Improves the crafting speed and the base health, but not the base productivity. So we'll get 1.5 extra for every 1 that we make. So 1 legendary bioflux can turn into 2.5 legendary agricultural science packs, which have 6 times the value, which is 15. So you would need a 15th of this, basically, to make the same amount. Now, I've had my little rant already. It might just about be worth it. You know, we could scale this up even more. You know, this is making... What's this? This will be 3, won't it? Yeah, this is making 3 of these a second. The upcycling is, as I say, it probably looks better than it is at the moment because the chests were full. And I'm still not 100% got the flow of the numbers right here and stuff, you know, like... Too much is being thrown off the side. We can keep a lot more of this than we currently are to make sure that demand is satisfied on Gleba. Some of that legendary bioflux also has to be turned into legendary nutrients, because you need legendary nutrients to make more legendary pentapod eggs. So that's also a problem, because if you are cycling legendary pentapod eggs around whilst you're waiting for... You know, there's a chance that you are spending more bioflux than you're using. So we'll have to do some work on that, maybe. Because you got to keep the legendary eggs going, right? You can get 1 legendary egg. Like, I'll just jump forward on this. I won't do a transition. So I've got a bit of egg gambling going here at the moment. But as soon as I get 1 legendary pentapod egg, I'm going to have to keep that alive by cycling it through a biolab with legendary nutrients. Now again, I could use productivity modules to get a lot more legendary pentapod eggs out than I'm putting in, but until I start actively using them to make the agricultural science... This is a lot later down the line. This was me sitting around waiting. So this is, yeah, this is about 2 hours of this. 7.2 a minute on average for the last hour. 8 a minute in the last 10 minutes. So about 7, 8 a minute it seems like it's going to balance out at. Possibly more, because obviously we're getting legendary ones being made every now and then in these, and we can spend these as and when. So I will do some more work on it. I will see what I can work out. You know, there's obviously a way that you can use the legendary bioflux that comes out of this system to keep the eggs alive, and then hook up a circuit condition for when the rocket is in orbit waiting for Gleb and Science, then start recycling this and use this bioflux for the actual process. I'm yet to get a legendary egg, but this is very slow. And of course the quality modules slow the... not only do the quality modules slow the process down, it also... These have the quality modules in and these don't, because these need to make the eggs. If this had quality modules in... Sorry, I realised I started the sentence like 8 different times there. Sorry. If this has quality modules in and outputs an uncommon egg, then this one won't pick it up, so then there's a chance this one starves. So these two are feeding themselves and these two. And then if this outputs an uncommon egg or a higher rarity, it doesn't make any difference because it will get eggs from these two. And that took me a few moments to realise what was going on here when all 4 of them were filled with quality modules, and then I was like, oh yeah! It won't just accept... That's another thing that I would quite like. Maybe, like, why can't a recipe just accept any quality lower? I understand that that's probably quite difficult from a programming and a UPS point of view, right? It's got to check absolutely everything that's going on. So I do understand that, but it's just another thing that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. If I want a common pentapod egg, I should be able to just put any pentapod egg in there. The input shouldn't make any difference to the output. So as soon as I get a legendary egg, I will try and set something up and see what the numbers are looking like, but we are just waiting on that, and it was bedtime for me yesterday. And now it's recording time for me today, so I don't really have any more updates for you. I put lasers down here. I don't know why I've bothered with gun turrets. I'm so addicted to gun turrets. Don't know why. Lasers are clearly better. And then the final version of the Gleba farming ship with all of its cargo bays. Yeah, 8,000 of the ores, 2,000 carbon, 2,000 of everything else. So much space in here now. So this is working a lot better. Very rarely starved for anything. All just ticking over nicely. All for kind of paltry amount of bioflux, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm annoyed. I'm a bit annoyed. It goes without saying that I seem to be a bit annoyed. Mostly because, you know, this was like 8 hours of gameplay and I went through the whole thing and went, this ain't really worth it, is it? What I've done here, not really worth the effort. Well, once this was all going full tilt, by the way, I needed a lot more Yamako mash, so I've added another one there and an entire separate farm down here, and this is now more than enough. This is the benefit of doing it with the logistics bots, is that it's very easy to just expand it. Whereas the jelly nut seeds were more than plentiful, even though we were turning some of it into rocket fuel and some of it into lubricant, it was always enough. So that's a little takeaway for you. So yeah, I mean, like, it's fine, it's working, it is working. I'm just not 100% sure it's worth the effort. And I don't see any other way around it, right? The only other way around it would be either make so much fruit that you could upcycle it into quality fruit and start from there to make legendary bioflux, which honestly might be worth exploring. There is a lot, you know, we've got infinite space. We could potentially look at that. The downside of that is that the fruit spoils relatively quickly in comparison to the bioflux. 4 minutes. So if you're trying to recycle it and upcycle it, you've got to do it quite quickly. Yeah, 4 minutes and 3 minutes. And as we established, when you recycle something, it doesn't reset the spoilage time, because why would it? So that doesn't seem very viable to me. So if you've got any bright ideas, please let me know. But as far as I can tell, I've done some research. As I say, I watched some other content creators' videos, and they're also having some issues with this part of the system. So please let me know if anyone else is doing it differently than this. I can't see how they would be, to be honest with you. There's only one thing that Bioflux goes in that recycles back into Bioflux, and that is capture rockets. So if you're going to upcycle it, you kind of have to do capture bot rockets, and if you're going to upcycle the fruit, as we've established, you would need a hell of a lot. And the spoil time is probably the thing that's going to get you. But maybe I'll go into editor mode and do some testing. See what kind of numbers you would need to get all of that working. Right, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like or a comment. And as I say, I'll try and do some, actually get some legendary agricultural science going, and then we'll think about going to Folgora and getting stuff sorted there. Folgora's just been ticking over nicely. No complaints. Okay, house move is progressing. No intention on taking a break from the YouTube videos with that currently. Obviously that will change as the move happens, and internet needs to be sorted, and computers need to be moved, and things like that. But I'll let you know. Alright, thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.